Wow, we are finally live. We had a bit challenge today. Do forgive us for a couple of minutes, well, about 2 minutes late. And welcome to the series of authenticity and inclusivity, where we did 11 weeks on the personality traits and on the childhood guardians, where we call them saboteur as they served us when we were young. But the overuse have also cost us. And with that, we started the SAGE last week, the powerful innate core within each one of us, the part that live in the region of our brain where it associates with our positive emotion, that peace and calm, that clear, hated focus, that creativity, that big picture. And before I continue, I would like to say there's a disclaimer. PQ are the trademarks of Positive Intelligent LLC. So both Lucy and I are certified PQ, Positive Intelligent Coaches, but we are not employee or agent or representative of Positive Intelligent. And with that, Lucy, would you like to continue and summarize what we did last week?
Sure. Thank you, Aries, for the introduction and for having me. So for you already mentioned that we start talking about the sage power and the powers in a way of sage, or the region in the brain that actually generates the positive emotions, that can generate a peace when we are active in that part of the brain, that we can be peaceful, we can be creative, we can be loving, compassionate. And last time we started with the sage perspective and talking about the three gifts. And quickly, what are the three gifts? The gift of knowledge, of different power, what kind of skill or power can I grow through this experience? And a gift of inspiration. So anytime something happens to us that our judge or other saboteurs can label as bad, we can have the tools, we do have the tools to actually switch into the sage perspective and find the gifts. And if you want details, you can go to the previous episode to listen about each of the powers. Anything you would like to add, Aries, to it?
Yeah, I think like what I said, last week we are mainly focused on the perspective, and there was 3 perspective, which is about when we are able to look at it with a new kind of lens, we are able to turn everything from that, oh God, it's a bad thing, into a thing that's actually can't really be bad if you're able to see it with a different lens and turn it into a given opportunity. And I think most of the time, in all our life, we actually look at things from this particular lens. But when we open up and see something else, we realize that there's part of it that doesn't see. So I think this is what he's saying about if you're able to have a new perspective. And of course, in the positive intelligent concept, the perspective is about, through this, there is a knowledge. The gift is a gift of knowledge, the gift of power, and the gift of inspiration. And today, with the next 4 weeks, we're going to cover the power in more detail. And is the empathy power, the one we want to start with. So we did mention very quickly what are the 5 power last round. And we did say that today we're going to cover more exactly what is the empathy power and why this is such a big topic. Yeah.
Yeah, and today we start with the power of empathizing, empathy.
Yeah. You know, this empathy, before we kind of jump into the concept, you know, even when we are seeing client, I mean, one of the things that I noticed is most people have very high empathetic towards other people. I mean, very considerate of other people's feelings and thoughts, and very mindful of that. But they don't practice the same to themselves. Kind of like, yeah, I need when somebody do something wrong, I can tell them it's okay, we're not perfect, let's move on, and you kind of like console them. But when you did the same thing, it's different, and you're just not able to forgive yourself. So what I'm trying to say, this empathy power It's not just about applying to other people, but it's also applying to yourself. I think the more common word that we use is probably, we call it self-compassion. It's like practicing self-love. Yeah. It's going well for you.
Yeah. I would add, when we talk about empathy, what is empathy even? So usually, like, we are able to put ourselves into other people's shoes. You probably heard that one. And it's basically ability to understand somebody else's emotions, how they're feeling, what is probably their experience. And there are kind of three levels of the empathy. One is the cognitive empathy, that we rationally understand what they are probably feeling or going through. The other one is emotional, that we actually feel what they're feeling. And the third one is actually compassionate empathy, when not only we understand, we feel it, but also we have the desire to help and to support them. And really, the judge is getting in the way, not only the sometimes empathy for the others, but definitely a lot of times towards empathy and compassion toward ourselves, where we end up criticizing ourselves, beating, punishing ourselves by thoughts, feeling very bad, guilty, could be even shame. So a great antidote to those is true compassion. And yeah, so I'm very passionate about this topic.
I think this empathy power is a great topic, because and I love what you just explained. There's three parts to empathy, because normally we say just empathy, we think about, oh, I can feel for you, I understand what you're talking about. So that's a general kind of definition. But when you talk about rational, is it emotional and compassion? I thought that's interesting.
Yeah.
Especially the rational part is like, yeah, I know what you're saying, but it's all stay here. We don't really feel anything.
No.
And then the compassion is a lot about the feeling. What about emotion then?
Yeah. And we all have mirror neurons in our brains. So when we are present with somebody, we are really able to actually pick up on their emotion. And the more we are connected with our emotions and can identify what we are feeling, in a way, having higher emotional intelligence, if we want to put a label on it. But basically, the more we are self-aware, the more also we can recognize our own emotions, the better we can also kind of understand, recognize the emotions in somebody else and pick up the signs.
I'm actually pretty curious. Before anybody asks a question, I'm going to ask this question. The part rational is very obvious. It's about the part that we are thinking about it, the rational empathy. But I'm trying to kind of separate between the emotional and the compassion empathy. What is that? It's quite kind of same, but yet it's not
different.
The same. Yes,
it's very different. So it could be when you, let's say, Aries, you're saying, Lucy, I'm having a really hard day today. And I say, Aries, wow, I've been there. I know how it feels. I feel you. I feel you. It's stressful. And then compassionate would be, Aries, wow, I feel you. I feel you. You're stressed out. I feel you're struggling. What can I do to help? Adding that, how can I support you? Adding that additional support, the step, what can I do to help you, to support you? I would love to help.
So what I'm hearing, the emotional part is the part that you can feel with the person, but the compassion part is an addition of the feeling, but there's an action behind it. It's like, okay, so how can I help? And how can I support you? There is an action behind that so-called, it's not just about, I feel you. I know what you're saying, but there's more than
I feel the same. It's about actually taking an action or checking with somebody else, like, or even ourselves, what can I do? Not just feeling it, but there takes it to the additional step, like what is there to help you? Let's say when we see as we in the US, transient or a homeless person without a home. So not only, let's say, feeling for them, feeling how difficult it must be, but let's say giving them some food, or clothing. Could be compassionate, actually taking action to help somebody else. Or at work, let's say an employee ask a manager for some time off that they had something happen with their family member. Well, empathetic boss, understanding, oh yeah, you probably go through something, so maybe your performance is not going to be the best, would be the understanding, right? The emotional could be, wow, I feel you, like I had something happen to my family member too, and I know how difficult it is. The third, compassionate, could be, wow, you know what, take the time off today and let's see if take the rest of the week off, take care of your family. Could be the compassionate response.
Okay, I love that. I really love that. I thought that was very good to separate that. It's kind of like 3-layer.
Yeah.
The first layer is irrational, and most of us is on the first and second. Some go into the third one, where it comes from the emotional. There is an action like, yeah, I really understand what it means. Please, do what you need to do. Not just saying, yeah, I know how you feel, and I'm helpless.
Yes.
Should we talk about a situation? As you're saying, I'm just kind of intrigued to ask about something else.
Yeah.
What if you have a friend? I mean, I'm not going to talk about for us as a coach. We tend to have clients and in different situations. Let's see, in a situation where you have a friend, and your friend for some reason has been very emotional, very upset about certain things. Of course, being rational is not going to help. We probably go from the rational into the emotional, but the compassion can be quite challenging, because when a person is very emotional and very upset and probably so emotional, the person is crying. How would you use that empathy power, the 3 level of empathy power that you were just saying?
So when we have somebody who's crying,
crying as in the person is really upset about something.
And upset about something.
Yeah,
yes.
So they're feeling very emotional about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So great question. So I would say, first of all, just like the stereotypical answer on the plane, you need to put your mask on first before putting it on somebody else. So I would say in these situations when, let's say, we are the leader and an employee who gets very upset comes to us, right? So as well, we have the mirror neurons, so we can pick up on the emotional. They're crying, they're upset, and our bodies, our self, we react to it. So really, first, take a deep breath and be able to kind of calm down ourselves first, give ourselves the compassion, the empathy. What am I feeling? Wow, I'm getting really stressed out by the other person's, being very upset or crying. Like, it feels very uncomfortable to me. And really checking in first with ourselves. The moment we kind of label our emotions, then we have a little bit more control, and then we can shift a little bit into the stage. So once we shift ourselves into a calm, peaceful state, then we can actually offer the compassion to them once we give it to ourselves. So be really taking care first of ourselves, shifting ourselves into a calmer state, into an open state, and being them, what happened? Tell me, I want to hear, I'm here for you. Whatever happened, I want to hear it. Please sit down, tell me what happened. How can I help? And then as they're talking, saying, I'm hearing, that you're really upset. In this situation, it's totally understandable to be upset. And let's talk about it. What can we do about this? What comes up for you when you hear this one?
I think what came up for me was, the word empathy is a word that is so heavily used. So the first thought is like, oh, I need to be empathetic. That means that I need to be mindful, thoughtful about you and still you. But this empathy, especially in the concept of positive intelligence, is not just about the other person, it's all about me as well. And it starts from me. And make sure I'm in a good state, then I'm able to practice that compassion, empathy to you and extend that to you. But if I'm not in the right state, where would that empathy come from? It's probably very rational empathy, because it's like, oh, this is a bad situation, oh, poor thing. But you actually don't have that, to be honest, you probably won't have the emotional empathy, or you
No.
get stuck into the emotional entity. You can't think too much because you're just too emotional, triggered by yourself.
Exactly. Yep.
So it's about offering that, like we say, I love what you say, it's about the mask on ourselves first. And when we kind of, I think it's all happened in a split second, the rational, the emotional, and the compassionate. With the action is mask on me first, and all happened within a split second. And then you kind of have that right state of mind, and you extend that to beyond to the other person. Yeah, I think that's lovely.
And you said when we cannot do that for ourselves, it really doesn't come across as good as we think we might. We might be thinking, oh, I'm empathetic, I was listening to them, but maybe inside we were upset. Oh, why they're so emotional, why they are bringing me all these problems, why do I have to deal with people like this, right? This is not a sage state of ourselves. And people can feel that energy. People can feel, if they're self-aware. Again, people can feel if they have the emotional empathy, if they are able to recognize the feelings in themselves and in others. If they are not so connected to their feelings, I hear, let's say, some people say, when I ask, how do you feel? Good or bad. So it's they are not really connected to their feelings, and therefore it also makes it more difficult to actually change the feelings or shift to a different state of emotional state, because they really don't have the vocabulary even for like how you're really feeling. Or stress could be also a label for just a lot of emotions.
Yeah, what comes to mind is when they are not in sync, they don't relate to their emotion. They kind of park it at the rational part of their head and say, I'm okay, I'm good, I'm fine. Most of us find actually challenging to go to the emotional empathy, whether is it for others or for ourselves. And because of that, we tend to park it at the rational empathy, whether it's for others or for ourselves. And one thing come to mind is this, when we are in this empathy power, that is what I said earlier, is about this clear-headedness. We're able to focus. So that means it's the rational empathy, but yet there is also this big pictures and feeling for the others. I think it's all come from, okay, all sage come from love, and all saboteur come from fear. I'm not sure we have mentioned it before. You see, the thing is, a lot of all things that we do, well, do means behavior, but our behavior don't just appear out of nowhere. And we do something is because we think of something. You think, then you do, right? You don't do, then you think. But just that we probably don't realize we're thinking about it.
Yes.
Yeah, because a thought may be conscious, maybe unconscious, and it could be just a split second. It's always you think about something, then you're able to do. Before we have a thought, there's always another layer below, which is like your belief or whatever. So it's kind of very subtle about that fear and the love. If you are filled with fear, you will have a lot of different kind of thoughts. Fear can trigger that I need to have safety. I need to ensure that I'm be good and showing my performance. Whatever that is, it will come out in different kind of behavior. But when you have this love, and we call it unconditional love, your empathy will be the word natural come to my mind. It's just spontaneous. It's not like you have to force it. And one more thing come to mind, Lucy, is what I like is about the empathy power when we talk in PQ was that when you have empathy for yourself and to practice the empathy for another person, even the person can be in their saboteur, or they can be in their bad mood, can be nasty to you. but you can see beyond that behavior. And that's where the real empathy is. You see, when people are crying, you will be automatically, you'll feel, oh, poor thing, you will feel compassion for the person. Now, when somebody who is not nice, that is very rude to you or do something nasty or bad to you, can you offer compassion and empathy?
That's a great question. Yes, I would say if we are ourselves in Sage, so if we give ourselves first the compassion and empathy, and we look at the person not at the level of their behavior, but as you mentioned, we look underneath or beyond the behavior and really feel in the positive intelligence concept, we look at the inner child in everybody in a way. How were they as a child? And the saboteurs actually torture them, right? So looking at the person, oh, this person putting the judge label is a horrible person, look at them, what they do, and us feeling angry ourselves. Instead, when we switch into, the empathy, compassion first for ourselves, when we can actually give somebody the love and kindness, even when they are having a tantrum in a way, and saying on that rational level to ourselves, they are having a really hard time right now. They're really feeling upset. It doesn't feel good to be upset. Or maybe for them, they feel upset so much. It must be really hard to be in this way, to be hijacked by saboteurs so much. And when we feel that, then we can actually be patient. We can sit and let them, vent. And what usually happens if we stay calm, if we stay in the positive state or kind of kind state, they usually calm down as well. I just remembered one example. I don't know if a true story, what happened in California this year. There was a bank robber coming to some local bank with a gun and one asking for money. Luckily, there was a neighbor who recognized him in the same bank. He came to him and started talking to him. And what's happening? What are you doing? What's happening in your life? Talk to me. Don't do this. I want to be here for you. Whatever it is, I will help you. Let's get through this together. There are different ways. And what happened, actually, the guy, started crying and they hugged and he surrendered. So no violence, nothing happened. And this shows the power of empathy when we really care for each other, when we are compassionate with others.
Oh my God, this is it is a real story.
Yes, real story.
Wow.
I need to look it up and we can put it under the video later, the link to it.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is the power of compassion.
It is very powerful, and it goes to show the power of love, that when we genuinely care for another person, and when we care, they feel it, and when they feel it, they respond. Yeah, and I think the reality is in most of the time we see how a person, if a person shout at me, I will just shout back. The person is like, always make life difficult, gossip about me, and then I will probably, I may not gossip back about a person, but I'm definitely not going to be nice. I said, stay out of the way, right? I won't be like this guy, he's taking a gun and pointing, and then I will go out and say, oh, what happened to you? I was like, God, he's really brave.
Yes.
It's like, this guy's holding a gun. The moment he pulled a shot, he'll be like dead. So he's really brave. Yeah. And that bravery comes from that love about that love for this person, and believing that this person have a difficulty and we can talk it through. Yeah.
Imagine what world would be possible if we were, all of us, compassionate with each other.
Oh my God. Yeah. Then there's probably no more
wars.
So-called backstabbing in the office.
And that too, yeah.
There'll be a lot more. I think people will probably feel less judged and less self-critical. Actually, what you're saying, another thing come to my mind is probably in the current days and in some more developed countries like US. I think US is probably one of the more developed one. I mean, UK and places, Australia, New Zealand. People with spectrum, especially those with low ability, they actually have a lot of challenges. So they cannot regulate emotion, and they come with physical, some may come with some minor physical disability.
Yeah.
And if it's not obvious, when the parents go out with the kids may be throwing tantrum in the public place. And if we don't exercise that empathy, we're saying, oh, what kind of parents is that? Don't even discipline their kids and just let the kids run around. Oh, these kids eat in such a manner. Don't the parents ever teach them how to sit, how to eat properly? What kind of parents is that? And I can keep going on. And there was this another case. This is a real one. I picked this up from the book, saying there was in a train. Well, this guy came in with quite a number of children, and he just sat there, and then the children just run around and disturb everybody in the train. And then this guy was so pissed off, right? Basically, how can you let a kid run around and then doing a lot of naughty things in a train, right? So he just can't contain him. So he walked up to the guy and said, "Can you just discipline your child? Your children, not one. I think there was a few. Can you discipline your children?" And the guy was like, "I'm so sorry. My wife have just passed away in the hospital, and I just have to take them out, and I don't know what to do with them." And this guy would tell him, "Can you do something like that?" He said, like, he just stuck there. So I mean, I'm just thinking, if he have practiced the empathy like this case that you say, what would that be like? And if we, before jumping to a situation of judging, whatever that is, and practice the empathy, like able to see the inner child in each one of them, what would the world look like?
What comes up for me, if he, let's say, another scenario, the same scenario, but let's say he watched our show and he did the positive intelligence program. So what could be different? So when the passenger looking at what's happening, the father and the kids running around, the father is just sitting there. So noticing, oh, I'm judging them. So noticing what's happening inside of me, noticing, wow, I'm getting irritated. It's really upsetting me. Wow. So giving compassion to myself. Wow, I'm really tired. I just wanted to have quiet on the train. And these kids are running around being loud. Oh, it's really difficult for me. I'm feeling challenged right now. So kind of giving ourselves first, connecting with ourselves, our own feelings. And then, okay, well, what is the gift and opportunity, sage perspective, right? What could I do? Maybe I can listen to some music. Where are my headphones? Maybe I can put headphones on and listen to music. Could be, or some podcast. I can learn something instead of, just sitting here doing nothing. Could be one possibility. And when we speak about the empathy, compassion, let's see, this guy doesn't seem feeling well. Look, oh my God, is he crying here? Are you okay, sir? What's happening? Are those your children? Giving really opportunity to somebody else to open up, to be there for them. And then the person could say, oh, I'm so sorry, they're so loud. My wife just passed away, and their mother, and I just have no idea what to do. And the other person can say, there's a community center. Maybe you can take them there. There's a park nearby. So that will be showing the compassion, actually offering some ideas or support. Or is there anything I can support you with? Like, there is a wonderful church community. If you have any community, it's a difficult time to go through. There are some resources.
We're coming to the end of our time,
Yes.
and I would like to pick on a few important points to summarize. I think the main thing about empathy that you bring out was that 3 level, noticing that whether you're practicing at the rational level, emotional, or even at the compassion level. And I think the most important is the empathy is not about extending to another person, but actually coming within us, and all that happen can be all just split second. And especially when we are triggered, you see other kids running around, not disciplining, whatever that is looking beyond what is happening. Like, this guy in the train case is like saying, maybe there's something happened to him, or what can I do in terms of the sage perspective? Put into music and listen to some music. Yeah. And then taking myself away. So it's really about that, the posting, the noticing, and then what does it mean for me? And how can I extend that empathy towards the person without judging them, even though they are not showing up as good, good as in whatever, creating chaos in the situation. I mean, when I needed a break, when I needed a rest, or they could be gossiping, backbouncing about me. What is it that I can see, beyond the situation, beyond the behavior? Anything else you want to add on, Lucy, before we end this call today?
Thank you. I guess as traditionally, I could add a question. Noticing, if you pause today and notice, what are some opportunities for yourself to show compassion today to yourself? And what are usually times where you don't actually show compassion to yourself? What are some circumstances where you are judging yourself, when you are harsh on yourself in your mind? And taking that as an opportunity to be there with yourself, identify what kind of emotions you're feeling at the moment, and notice that, even negative, difficult emotions are part of our human experience. And what could help you feel better, that's healthy? Would it be reaching to a friend, taking a bath, reading, taking a moment? What would that be? And practicing self-compassion today. That's my invitation and a question in one.
Yeah, I kind of put it down in a question.
Oh.
What are the opportunities that you can show compassion for
I love
yourself
it.
versus judging yourself, and
Yeah.
practice self-compassion from
Thank
today?
Thank you for putting in there.
And with that, I would like to close today's sessions and ask you to join us for next week. We're going to continue
Yes.
the next power, and our next power will be explore power.
Ooh,
Okay.
awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you,
See you
Aries.
then.
See you
Same
next
time
week.
next week. Bye.
Bye.